Okay, let's go. Hi, muckers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, for a little bit of context, I'm currently in Orlando. We're doing a show here on Sunday. Last night, I did a really impromptu meetup with some muckers at Disney Springs, and our phones started pinging, and we saw that Kayla had posted on TikTok a new couple videos about James Charles. Now, I did or didn't know if Kayla was going to talk about James Charles. As we know, James recently made a long ass video on TikTok where he was basically like, Kayla doesn't want to speak to me anymore. We were never that friends, but yes, I did befriend Evan and I did bring him over to my house just to watch movies because I felt so bad for him and all this BS. And I made an entire video on that video. And while I would love to sit here before you and rant about James Charles again, because please, I'm no stranger to doing that, because I think that how many times are we going to go through this? How many times is he going to be let off the hook? How many times are the general public going to be dumb as hell and let him get away with the same BS? Don't piss me off. Anyways, I would love to do that in this video, but I want to focus on what Kayla is saying. So I would go and watch my video that is fully dedicated to kind of ripping into James' video. I posted it a couple days ago. There's all my thoughts on that. Again, I didn't know if Kayla was going to respond to the James situation, but obviously she has chosen to. So I want to hear what she's going to say. I have just woken up. This is why I am so puffy. We got in from the meetup last night very, very, very late, and I wanted to watch this with like a fresh perspective. I wanted to really focus on it. So again, I have not watched this. We're going to dive into this together, and let's hear what Kayla has to say about James. You know, James showed some screenshots. He kind of blabbed a lot. So basically the ball is in Kayla's court here because James's video was a bunch of BS, deflection, distraction, and if I was Kayla, that would piss me off. So we'll see what happens. Also, if you're in New York on July 11th, I'm doing an independent show. I have booked it. We are so close to selling out. If you want tickets, it'll be linked down below. I've booked the show myself, so tickets are literally like $16. Would love, love, love to see you all, meet you all. It is going to be my final show in America before I move out of America. So if you're in New York City, we are so close to selling out the Tortured Muckers department. Would love to see you there. Also, my Patreon is linked down below. We react to Escape the Night. We react to Beast Games. We do podcasts. We do advice videos over there. It's all linked down below. Would love to see ya. But anyways, let's get into this. So, I assume that... Wait, hold on. Okay, wait.
So it was supposed to be a 10-minute quick clock it video. It ended up being 30 minutes. It ended up being 30 fucking minutes. Oh my fuck. Tomorrow, whenever I get done putting all the receipts next to each other and yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Well, I'm sure by now everybody knows about the situation with me and James. And everybody has told their side of the story except me. And in my opinion, I was the one fucked over. So it's only fair for me to tell my side of the story, how I was fucked over. And I wanted to wait a little bit, have a little bit more time to just like relish in the fact that I won in court. But the response video was...
Again, this is what pisses me off. That everyone decided to focus on James Charles's involvement in this rather than the fact that Kayla was literally in court on that same day that everyone was freaking out about James Charles's participation in whatever, right? Like, come on. Like, that's why I was delayed in talking about it on my side on YouTube in terms of James, because yeah, let's call him out and let's focus on it and let's talk about it. And I know we can multitask, but come on, like, there are things that are more important than James Charles. Actually, a lot of things are more important than James Charles. So I agree with her. Let's sit with the fact that she won the court case. That pig is in jail right now, right? Then we can get on James Charles's ass for yet again doing some BS, trying to get someone else's man or trying to throw himself in it. You know what I mean? But let's also please be respectful of the fact that Kayla won the court case, and that is the most important thing here. That motherfucker is in prison. That is the most important thing. Please.
It was posted an hour after I announced that I won my court case. 1 hour. So
again, that really pissed me off. James Charles waited. Oh, he is the worst person of all time. James Charles waited. He genuinely makes me angry. You know what? All the people I cover, from Jeffrey to Shane to who else do we cover? Gabby to Tana to literally anyone, right? You'll get a lot of comments from people being like, oh, you care so deeply, right? Don't get this wrong. I don't care about James Charles, but I find him incredibly, incredibly frustrating because he should not be allowed to have a platform. That genuinely is my opinion. I've said that about very few creators. I think he's dangerous. I think he's egotistical. I think he's arrogant. I think he's narcissistic. I think he abuses his fame. I think he abuses his power. I think we've seen it time and time again. Whenever it becomes a meme that every year you have to apologize for something to do with acting inappropriately towards men or something like that, right? How are you allowed to be on the platform? How are people continuing to glaze you? And the fact that in James' fucking video, this really pissed me off, he was like, I didn't want to speak up because it would affect the court case. And, you know, I'm rooting for Kayla to win this. And, you know, I wish her luck in court. Motherfucker, you posted your video after she won. You chose not to speak up about Evan until after he went to jail. Fuck you.
I have like all of my bullet points written down next to me, and I hope I could do this all in one part, but everybody told their side, and like I said, in my opinion, I was the one fucked over here.
The most important side.
So to start off, I would not consider me and James to be best friends at all. I don't even think I'd consider us close friends. We've collabed a few times. I went over to his house, what was that, like 9 months ago to help him promote his company on live stream. We would text here and there about certain things, but it was definitely not like we were best friends. I like trying to put this into like it's kind of like that one person that's in your class at school that you're like mutuals with. Y'all are like acquaintances. Like we were acquaintances, but that doesn't
make sense.
I don't think that excuses anything that happens in my opinion, but that's the best way to describe it. We definitely were not best friends. We were not that close, but we were acquaintances. We were not best friends in any way. But this all starts almost immediately when I made me and Evan's relationship public on TikTok. So I posted a video with Evan next to me, and me and James have never DM'd on TikTok. The only previous messages we had on TikTok was us collab posting from when we would film together when I started my Glow Up series, like I was just talking about. And he like sends me my video. I don't know how you do it. Like he sent me the video, and then under it he said, "Girl, who is this?" And I was like, "Oh, this new guy that
dude. Oh my
that I met. I think I'm in love. Ha 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 ha." Then a month and a half later, he slides up on another video of me and Evan together. We have not DM'd on TikTok since this. And it's a video of us dancing together at Yosemite, and James slides up and says, "Girl, he's so hot." And I'm just like, haha, yeah, whatever, cool. So at that point, that's like the only time that
hello. He's so fucking weird. He's such a fucking weirdo.
we would text was about him saying how hot Evan was, which is like, whatever. I didn't care. I didn't think anything of it, whatever. So fast forward to October, and me, Evan, Emma, and Brennan all get invited to a birthday party. We get there, and lo and behold, James is there. And Evan and James have not met at this point, obviously. The only thing that's been said is how hot James thinks Evan is, which is like, fine, whatever. So I see James, I say hi to him, and I introduce them to each other.
James Charles constantly setting gay men back by 5 decades. Holy fuck. If it's not the predator allegations, it's the creeping on straight man allegations. Constantly setting us gay men back. Thank you, James. Freak.
And They're just talking for a fat minute. I don't know what really they were talking about. I wasn't really in the conversation. I was talking to Lila. I was talking to my other friends. I wasn't really in the conversation. And I don't know how accurate this is. I was not listening to the conversation, but Evan did tell me after that James was just saying how Evan was the hottest guy at the bar and he was the hottest guy there. I don't know how true that is. I don't know, but that's what I was told James was saying, is just how hot he was. And once again, I brush it off. Haha, funny, whatever. Like, whatever. Like, I don't care, you know? So then, 2 months after that, I get another DM from James. On December 17th, I posted a video of us at Hawaii together.
I'm like, James, where was all of this in your video? Where was all of this in your video?
And James, once again, our only DMs is him once again being like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. So literally the only DMs we have in the past year is him saying how hot my boyfriend is.
It's so funny that James chose not to include any of this in his video.
Cool, whatever. Just like, what the, like looking at this shit now, what the fuck? Like, it's not funny. I'm just like, what the fuck? So yeah, like at this point, the only things I've heard is how hot he thinks my boyfriend is. Cool, whatever. So
weird.
Now from December, it's January. And me, Brennan, Emma, and my boyfriend are in Hawaii. And this was the trip that we ended up breaking up and all of that shit happened. It's about the third night that we're there. And I don't know if I'm allowed to include this. I'm going to anyways. But we're all sitting on the balcony of our Airbnb talking. And Evan starts saying that James is DMing him on Instagram. And immediately I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you DMing James? Like, immediately I'm just like, fuck no. Like, you're not going to do that. That's weird in my opinion. And at this point, our relationship was basically already over. And even Brennan was like, and Emma were like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you DMing him on Instagram? So we look over at the phone and Evan sends James a picture on Instagram. So like, you know how you snap on Snapchat, like doing that on Instagram, like sending pictures back and forth. And Evan is like, you should go to Hawaii with us. And James sends back this saying like, why?
Oh, God. Oh, God. James, where was all of this? Oh, my God. Oh, my God, this is so crazy. Oh, wow. I didn't realize she would have this much on him. Oh. He is such a freak. If it's not young... Wait! In James's video, the weak cocky shit was like, I'm gonna sue anyone who talks about this. This is so inaccurate. Okay, so this is not normal.
Why should I come to Hawaii? And that for the first time is when I was like, what the fuck? And I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure they continued to text throughout the night.
Oh, gosh.
I was not, like, caring enough to go through his phone. I was just like, why are you messaging him? And I just, red flags. It was just so fucking weird. Because mind you, at this point, me and James don't text. Like, me and James aren't even texting like that. James is only texting me to say how hot he is. And now he's sending him snaps over Instagram saying, why should I come to Hawaii?
Oh, this is weird.
Like, that's fucking weird. I would only do that if I'm, like, trying to fuck. Or if I'm trying to flirt, you know? Like, it was just weird. So I don't know if they texted anymore throughout the night. I have no idea. I do know that all of their texts are over Instagram. So fast forward, literally 2 weeks past this, me and Evan have broken up. And literally the day after we break up, James texts me. And he basically is asking me and Evan to be a part of this painted commercial video. And it was supposed to be like me and Evan, and it was like a couple thing, and it was for Valentine's Day. So I respond, and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, but we just broke up, ha ha ha. So I text James that we have broken up, and basically the first thing he says in response is, can I have him now?
Yeah.
Just responds, can I have him now?
Yeah.
And then was like, ha ha ha, just kidding, what happened? I then proceed to tell him that, let me actually like read the text like word for word. I'm going to green screen this part. Everything else I'm inserting in, but I want to read this like word for word. So yeah, do you want to be in a painted video with your man? I explained that we broke up. I was going to do a 30-part series. And mind you, he is the only person that I told, because this is a day after we officially broke up, he is the only person I told about a quote 30-part series that I was going to film about what I had went through. He goes, what? I go, girl, he's fucking crazy. And then there we go. What happened? Can I have him now? Once again, didn't really think much of it, but my senses were a little bit heightened now after the whole Hawaii Instagram DMing situation, but whatever. Then tell him, imagine the worst things a human can do. It would take hours to text, but you'll see this series soon. He then asks again about if I'm actually doing a series, which I'll explain why that has a lot to do with more going on. But he asks again about the series, then says, I'm sorry. And I go, oh, just wait. I gave this man a platform based off his lies and abuse. I'm gonna wait to heal from it and then clock it, which I did do.
His immediate response being, can I have him? And then Kayla in detail telling him the problems. And then James still decides after this, by the way, he wants Evan over at his house for many days in a row. Just to watch movies, y'all.
And then he goes, shit, I'm sorry, Kayla. And I said, you're good, thank you. So that was the last time we texted until he flew Evan out to California. But in these, I made it pretty clear that Evan had fucked me over. I brought up abuse, the worst thing a human can do. I mean, I obviously did not go into depth with what I had went through. At this point, like James said in his video, my friends didn't even know, my family didn't even know the full story. Nobody knew the full story. And obviously, I don't expect him to sit...
Okay, but why would you choose then to fly that person out? That's like an active choice, specifically with everything else that you've been snapping them, all this shit.
There and ask,
Weirdo.
You know, oh, well, what happened? I don't expect him to do that. I get feeling uncomfortable in that situation, but I made it crystal fucking clear that I was fucked over in a pretty big way. And holy fucking shit, I do not want to have to make a part 2. But I'm at 9 minutes. So basically, obviously, I don't expect him to ask me, oh, well, what happened? And I don't expect him to want to know the full story. I get being uncomfortable doing that, but I 100% think that in these messages, I made it crystal fucking clear that what he put me through was not okay. It was not normal, and it was an abusive relationship. I just think I made that clear. And no, we were not best friends. No, I wouldn't even consider us close, but we were acquaintances, and he knew me more than he knew Evan. He met Evan through me.
Yep.
I've known James more, like...
That's such a good point. If James is going to play the card, well, I didn't know, who are you closer to in that situation? Kayla.
At the end of the day, he knows me more than he knows Evan.
Yep.
So it's like, with that information, with what I told you, it should have been, okay, I understand, and move on. There should not be a second part to this. It should have ended right there, and then none of this shit would have happened. There wouldn't be a drama. There wouldn't be a fucking, like, this wouldn't be a fucking drama if it ended where it should have. And in my opinion, if you have good morals, it would have ended there. I know people in my life that I have, like, am acquaintances with, and they would not do that to me, and I would not do that to them. I would not do this to people that I've even collabed with once. I wouldn't do that to somebody. So in my opinion, it should have fucking ended there. And there should have been no communication between him and Evan past that point. But obviously that didn't happen. So a week after I send those text messages, me and Evan are broken up, obviously, but we were not on no communication yet. And so this was, literally the day before I go live and say that I was in an abusive relationship. This was the day before I officially made it no contact and realized, holy shit, I wake up basically. So me and Evan have our final call. And this is when Evan says to me, if you tell people what I did to you, that means you never loved me. That's when he said all of that on the phone. It was our last ever conversation. But in the beginning of that phone call, while we're talking, he brings up me making a 30-part series. And I immediately am like, how the fuck do you know that? And he quote said a 30-part series. The only fucking person that I texted about making a 30-part series was James. James was the only person I told about making a, quote, 30-part series.
Dude, this is... Oof. This is very, very, very bad. This is... Let me move you closer to me. This is bad. So basically, what's being implied here is that James was working behind the scenes to kind of give Evan a heads up that his ex was going to speak up about how abusive he was. But don't worry, James Charles to the rescue to let Evan know that that's going to happen. What a... Oof.
Once again, I don't know how true this is. He was abusive. He was, like, literally, like, we all know by now. But Evan told me that James had sent him screenshots of our messages warning Evan that I was going to make a 30-part series.
Oh, Lord.
Once again, don't know how true that is, but it makes fucking sense because on the phone, Evan literally said, so are you going to make that 30-part series about me?
Oh my
and
God.
In the text messages, once again, in the messages, I quite literally quote, tune in for the 30-part Who the Fuck Did I Marry series. Cool, like, the fuck? So, allegedly, apparently, from what I was told, is that right after sending those text messages telling James that we broke up, James went and DM'd him on Instagram, sent him those text messages to warn him, and then they started to create a friendship.
He's such a pick-me little bitch, isn't he? Oh, this makes me so fucking angry.
And obviously, that forms to be true when about...
You know what, James? I think I'm going to say something that'll really hurt him here. James, you will always be the other woman. Always the bridesmaid, never the fucking bride, James. In every goddamn story we talk about with you, it's you having to chase someone very young or someone else's person. You're always the fucking bridesmaid, never the bride, bitch. You're always the fucking other woman. You will never be the one that's loved for just you. You have to steal someone else's person. No one will ever love you. You will always be the other woman. Always the fucking bridesmaid. And that's mean to say, but bitch, how the fuck are you siding with abusers? How the fuck are you messaging underage people? And somehow always you're the victim. Bitch, fuck you. You will always be the other woman. You will always be the bridesmaid. Clock that.
About a month after all of this, I still have not spoken out publicly. The only thing I've done is go on live and say that I was in an abusive relationship. I was not ready to talk about the details of it. Still healing, okay? But I'm scrolling on Snapchat and I see that Evan had posted a Snapchat in the exact area that James lives in a backyard that looked identical to James's backyard.
Lord.
And immediately I was like, there's no fucking way. Because this was about a month after I had been told that they were DMing. Why are y'all DMing for a fucking month? The fuck? So I text James and I'll actually no, I'll just screen them again. And mind you, the last time that we texted was me telling him that we broke up, okay? I text him on March 1st saying, "This is so random, hope you're doing good. Are you with Evan?" He says, "What? Your ex Evan?" Doesn't say yes, doesn't say no.
Oh my God, and the skull emoji as well? Oh God.
I said, "Yes," posted a picture, looked like your backyard. He goes, "Why would Evan be in my backyard?" Later to find out.
Oh my God, and James has confirmed that he did have Evan over. I truly think that he is evil. Like, I think he is the embodiment of evil. Him gaslighting her in those messages. And he has now confirmed that Evan was at his house for many days in a row. There's something so goddamn evil about him. This is really bad.
To find out that he was in his backyard and that James had flown him out to California and they spent the entire fucking weekend together. And honestly, if you knew you weren't doing anything wrong, why didn't you just straight up answer my fucking question and say, "Yeah, he's here, we're friends"? Like, do you you know? And in James's video, he was saying that, "Oh, well, he seemed depressed and sad and like he needed a friend. I have a lot to say about that, but first thing, if you're just being there for a friend and that you think he's a good person, why do you feel the need to have to lie to me about it?
Clocked.
Why do you feel the need to have to lie to me about it?
Clocked.
If you truly don't think you're doing anything wrong, why did you lie?
Clocked.
Why did you lie about it? And then also keep it such a secret. Yep. Second off, you're being there for a quote friend that is your ex or your friends, acquaintances, ex-boyfriend that I told you was abusive. Like, what the fuck? It's just like, moral of the story is like, you obviously knew you were doing something fucking wrong if you had to lie to me about it, you know? Clocked. So that entire weekend that they're together, I drive past James's house to see if I could see anything, because I was like, I need fucking proof. Like, I know they're together, but I need proof because I'm so pissed. Obviously, don't see anything, and at this point, I'm just, I don't know what's going on. I have no proof, but I have a gut feeling that they are together, that they are hanging out. Fast forward another month. Me and James do not text. Nobody ever comes clean about anything. Nobody says anything, nothing. I release my "he doesn't love you," and I talk about everything that he had done to me. And me and James still are not talking. He still does not text me and say, hey, I'm sorry, doesn't try to explain himself, nothing.
This is just like, I honestly cannot get over the deception and the lying and the gaslighting, and it's just, oh my god, to lie to her and have that motherfucker in your house, which you've now confirmed publicly.
Nothing. And in my opinion, that's because he didn't think he'd get caught. He didn't think I'd find out. So he had no reason to tell me firsthand. And that's why this shit really pisses me off. I end up texting James, asking to FaceTime for a segment on my podcast, because Jacob had this funny idea that we were going to FaceTime James, and James is going to be like, ew, Jacob, and then like hang up. It was supposed to be like this funny bit. I could include screenshots. Literally the next text, a month later, after me asking if he had flown my ex-boyfriend out,
Not Jacob Sartorius.
Literally just say, hey, totally normal conversation. He does not bring it up, nothing. At this point, I don't have proof to back up my theory, so cool, whatever. But yeah, he doesn't say anything, acts like everything is normal.
Wow.
So then it is Coachella.
So keep in mind, at this stage, he has not told her that Evan was in his house, but he's told us.
Weekend, couple weeks later, and a video is posted exposing James to have flown my ex-boyfriend out to California. The second that this video goes public, James starts to blow up my phone, asking if I'm at Coachella, saying that we need to talk. I immediately already knew what he was talking about. Are you at Coachella? Yeah, I am. Can I talk to you? I shut it down. I don't want to fucking talk to you. He says, I felt guilty for weeks and I didn't know how.
He is just genuinely a terrible person. This is so fucking twisted.
To tell you, and I owe the truth. I explain it to you from my mouth, not the Zach guy, and then you can feel however you want to. To me, it's quite ironic.
Where's any of these texts in James's confident ass cocky video that he just posted?
That you suddenly feel guilty about this.
He feels guilty because he got exposed.
And that it's made public. You know what I mean? Like, you suddenly feel guilty once.
Wow.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I text him. I've known for a while, but I saw the proof today. I'm just shocked. There's a ton to explain. I'm annoyed with myself for allowing you to find out this way instead of just telling you myself. I say, okay. He then says, he manipulated me as well, and I fell for it. To when I then reply,
motherfucker, you're gonna respond to the person who was abused by the person that you wanted to fuck, and try to imply that you also were? Fuck you. Fuck you.
I got so pissed off. How did you get to the point for him to manipulate you? I told you he abused me the day we broke up. Then you texted him that day that I told you that. But I'd rather talk to you about this tomorrow. You met him because he was my boyfriend. After that, James did try to reach out multiple times. He wanted to meet up and talk, and I'll give him credit for that. I can tell he feels guilty. He was blowing me up for days.
He doesn't feel sorry. He feels guilty.
And days after that, wrote me long paragraphs just a lot of stuff. I personally decided...
Where was any of this in his video?
Not to respond. I decided not to meet up with him because, quite frankly, what the fuck do you have to say? And after waiting for him to come out with his response video, I'm honestly happy I didn't meet up with him to hear what he had to say, because it clears up nothing for me. What happened. You knew he was my abusive ex-boyfriend. I'm gonna have to make a part fucking 3. Jesus fucking Christ.
Wow.
I'm just gonna end this here. I just think it's a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
And watching the apology video quite literally pissed me off even more, because I can genuinely...
That was not an apology video. It was a threat video to people to stop talking about this.
...only appreciate to where you now feel guilty. And I don't think that you still support him. I don't think that at all. I know once
because Evan's in jail and he no longer has the opportunity to fuck him. That's literally all it boils down to.
...the proof, you probably dropped him. I'm not doubting that. It's the fact that my word was not believed. My text messages of me saying that it was abusive, that he did the worst things a human could possibly do, those were taken lightheartedly. And then you went and DM'd him and formed a friendship with my ex-boyfriend, believed everything he was saying about being depressed and suicide, and you wanted to sit there and be there for him, and you believed everything that came out of his mouth, but not mine. That's fucking crazy to me. How are you gonna sit there and take everything to heart that my ex-boyfriend is saying, that you met through me, but not what I'm saying? That makes zero fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? Or do I sound delusional? Am I just like salty? Ew, that was so cringy to say. Or like, genuinely, do I just sound bitter in this situation? Do I sound bitter, or like, do I have a fucking point? I do not think that if I did not find out through TikTok, and if this shit was not made public, I do not think I would have ever found out. I don't think I ever would have received a "I've felt guilty for weeks" text. I don't think I would have gotten that at all. I do not think I would have gotten an apology, or he would have owned up to it and texted me about it if it had not been made public. And I think there's proof to that, because he kept it a secret literally up until he went public with it. And then also, it does leave a bad taste in my mouth that, listen, I get it. If your name's being slandered and you want to clock that shit, fucking clock it. I get it. But to do it an hour after I win the court case is fucking crazy, in my opinion. 1 hour after I announced that I win the court case.
And in that same video, be like, I'm rooting for her to win. You filmed that after.
Here's a 10-minute video, and all my comments are now flooded with, did you see James's new video? You couldn't even wait till the fucking 8th? Like, that's crazy to me. And I get it. You wanted to clear the air. I get that. But to not even wait 3 hours? Not even an hour and a half? What the fuck? I mean, at that point, damn. Sorry. I'm just like, I'm crashed out. Like, it has been so hard to see.
Again, the point she's making there, which is really true, is, oh, so you're going to try to take the attention away from me winning the court case. You couldn't wait any longer than an hour to do your dirty work?
You're a not say fucking shit when all of this is going on, and then seeing the apology video, I don't know. I just have a lot of thoughts, and I don't think this is like a pick sides thing. I don't think there's sides in this. It's just a story. I think that he fucked up. James fucked up, and he fucked me over, and it was a shitty thing to do. I do find it interesting, though, that James posted conversation receipts with everybody. Me, a clip from my sister's live stream, like everybody's receipts except for his Instagram DMs with my ex-boyfriend.
Wow.
If they're not already deleted. And I don't know. I think the timing of everything was weird. I think the receipts were odd. That's basically my side of the story. They had been DMing in Hawaii in January while we were still together. James would only DM me to say how hot he was. Apparently, from what I was told, which I don't know how trustworthy my abusive ex was, but told me that James had DM'd him the day that we broke up. So I don't know. And also, I do think it is fishy to create such a friendship with somebody off of being attracted to them. Because I don't know what the fuck they would have in common besides the fact that James thought he was hot. And then to fly him out, I don't know. I don't know if I could think a guy was really hot, fly him out, and just like want a friendship. I don't fucking know. There's just so much going through my head. But yeah, no, moral of the story, I appreciate acknowledging how you feel guilty. I appreciate acknowledging what you did. I just don't think that would have happened at all if you hadn't been caught for it. But yeah, that's my side, and I don't fucking know what else to say. Holy fucking shit, this has been like the hardest thing to keep my mouth shut on. But yeah, this was a lot longer than I thought it would need to be. I thought it was only gonna be a 10-minute video, but holy fucking shit. A bitch is pissed. A bitch has been pissed. And I've just wanted to sit here and relish in the court shit, but for some fucking how, James made this like a drama. Or James didn't, I don't know who the fuck did it, but this whole thing became like a fucking drama. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, I'm still trying to process winning court, let alone all of this bullshit. But yeah. I don't fucking know, y'all. This shit is just as confusing to me as it is to y'all. I don't know what the fuck happened while they were in LA. I'll never fucking know the truth, but I don't know. I'm just gonna stop talking. I feel like I could honestly talk about this for hours. I could literally go on about this for hours, but yeah. Love y'all.
Okay, wow, a lot to say. James at Coachella being so avid that he needs to talk to her, he needs to apologize, he needs to whatever, he feels so guilty, he's been sitting on this for weeks. The second that it gets revealed that he did have Evan at his house, after he gaslit Kayla on those texts being like, your ex, Evan? Why the fuck would he be in my back garden? Oh, God. It just is like, it shows how dishonest he is and how bad of a person he is, that when someone you know is telling you about being abused by their ex, you befriend them, you lie about hanging out with them, flying them out, hanging out with them at your house, then you get exposed for it, and you're like, oh, I just feel so bad, I've wanted to tell you, it's been sitting on me, can we meet up? Bombarding them then to accommodate to your schedule, to finally talk to you now that you're ready. He's just a bad person. And wow, such a great point she said. Just reveal all of your conversation history with Evan. If you're willing to reveal it with everyone else, you know, everyone else's communication you've had with them, reveal the Evan shit, James. And it really, again, final thing pisses me off that James made this about himself and that he posted this right after she won the court case. Meaning, as Kayla says, her comments were flooded after she revealed that she won the court case with James Charles rather than the damn court case, which she won. And again, congratulations, Kayla, and fuck that motherfucker who is rotting in prison. And hopefully we make rooms for some more soon. Anyways, I will love and leave all of you. I hope you're doing very well, and goodbye.